With so many coaches and experts talking about different strategies for high ticket sales, you're probably wondering which one is the right one to follow that is going to get you the absolute best result out there. And so today, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit and walk you through our 3-step process for generating a 60% conversion rate on high ticket sales every single month, and what we're doing that is really, really different from what most coaches are doing and most experts are teaching out there. This is a proprietary process that we created after a lot of refining, a lot of iteration, and a lot of just really taking the time to optimize to figure out how or what we need to focus on in order to really make sure that we make a lot of sales. Now, let's make it really clear. This isn't about fancy closing techniques, and absolutely definitely not about using high pressure tactics. If you know me, you know I don't believe in that. It's about creating a process that really feels natural, aligned, and actually serves your true ideal client. Because this is the thing that most people miss about high ticket sales. The magic doesn't happen on the actual sales call. It happens long before anybody gets on your calendar. We've spent such a long time really refining that process down to the most perfect detail. I'm going to break down for you the exact 3-step framework that we use in our own business and we teach our clients as well. So the first crucial piece is what I like to call the demand priming framework. At the end of the day, what we want is for people to be pre-sold by the time that they get on the call with us. So this is basically how we structure all of our content, whether we're talking about social media posts, emails, webinars, podcast episodes like this one. Here's the thing about high ticket sales. You can't really just convince somebody to invest thousands of dollars. They need to be in a way really pre-sold or kind of have that idea of what they want before they even get on the call with you. And so a lot of the work that we do through that, how we create content and what we put out there is really focused on making sure that we're pre-selling people. And there's 3 different things that we focus on within the demand priming framework, as with everything else. So the first thing within that is that we were making sure that we're always speaking to power buyers. And these are the type of people who are very problem aware, obviously, but are already actively looking for solutions as well. They're looking to invest. So instead of creating content for people that are stuck in victim mentality or just looking for free advice, we are really deliberate in how we craft our messaging in a way that really resonates with those who are ready to take responsibility for their success and are willing to invest in doing so. And with our clients, we're doing the same. We're teaching them to speak to power buyers so that they're not attracting people that need to be convinced about why investing is good in the first place. So instead of using things like, are you struggling with, and you're super stuck and you're feeling hopeless and nothing is working, we're really communicating to the people that are actively looking for solutions and that understand the problem but see themselves as a winner even throughout the issue that they're having. The second element within the demand priming framework is making sure that we're using our angle of mastery. And that is that unique perspective around the problem, the solution, and basically the big picture outcome that we're selling. And so this is about really clearly articulating what makes our approach very different. I have a very unique set of skills. For example, in my personal case, not only do I have a pretty unique background where I've lived all over the world, Venezuela, Spain, Brazil, India, the US, and it gives me a very global perspective, but the way in which I am able to incorporate different elements from the different skills I have acquired over the years is what makes me create that angle of mastery in a way that nobody else can. With our clients, we do the same. We help them get very clear in determining and defining how do they communicate their value in a way that really speaks to their audience and shows them as the antidote to the problem that their ideal audience or those power buyers have. And so when we bring that, we also include it with the third element, which is the need to have formula. And this is essentially how you position what you do as needed, as essential, and not something that is optional. That means that we show our audience why traditional approaches that they've tried before don't work, the root cause of the problem and what that is, and how that's different from other things that people are telling them, and how that solution that we have is a specific thing that is missing. And so what we do is we bring together these 3 elements and we create something that I like to call the demand priming framework in a way that it really focuses on planting the seed for our audience in terms of what the root cause of the problem is and why they're experiencing the issues that they have. And so therefore, by the time that they get on a sales call with us, they're already really pre-convinced that they have that problem in the first place and that our solution is the antidote, is the solution, and therefore we're creating demand. This is exactly what we walk our clients through as well, through the messaging that we create. So within that, the second piece of our high ticket sales process is what we call the brand message assessment. We call this process the 15-minute expert audit. In my business, it's a 15-minute brand message assessment. So on that call, what we do is you go very deep in diagnosing the person's current situation, right? In my case, I'm evaluating people's messaging. I'm actually writing for people on the call what I would do, how I would focus on the need to have formula for them. I have a very specific framework for that. But independently of your niche, because obviously most of the people that we have in our programs, for example, are not messaging experts, what they do is they really focus on genuine diagnosis and assessment of their problem. And this is really connected with the angle of mastery that they have created, right? So their messaging plays a big part of what happens on that 15-minute call. And so during that call, they're asking very targeted questions to make sure that they're really understanding the very specific situation that their audience has. They are able to identify the root cause of their challenges, not just the symptoms. They're connecting the symptoms to that angle of mastery process that they created. They're providing immediate, actionable, valuable content that they can implement right away. And they're basically just connecting the dots. So what doesn't happen on that call is that we're not pitching our programs. We're not creating artificial urgency. We're not using manipulative tactics. We're not making promises that we cannot keep, right? Ultimately, this is a call about service, but about confirmation that the problem that the person has is exactly what we're able to solve, both for us, but also for the people that we talk with at the same time. So what happens then is that people will naturally ask, okay, what's the next step? How do we work together? This is because when you show somebody that you really understand their situation in a way that is completely different from what everybody else is talking about, they feel like this is exactly what we need, right? So we've had countless people tell us, for example, that the 15-minute call is extremely valuable. It's probably one of the most valuable things that they've ever done. We have like a page full of testimonials just from what has happened on that 15-minute call alone. That's the power of leading with service instead of sales. So by the time that somebody gets to the third part of that process, which is the actual sales call, you can imagine that these people are already about 80% sold. So through our content, the demand priming framework, through what happens on the 15-minute expert audit, and through that call by that time, they've already recognized that we understand their problem. They see the value of our approach. We've built trust in our expertise, and they've really felt a genuine connection to us. So obviously, the enrollment call becomes really easy. It's about helping them make the right decision for themselves. So we're showing them the options, and that is it. Before that call, we've already sent them information about our programs and our pricing. And so that eliminates any awkwardness or like reveal moment that happens in traditional sales calls. These people already have a lot of context before the sales call even happens. So when they're coming on the sales call, they're not wondering what's this going to cost. They already know. They're simply deciding if they're the right fit, and we're helping them define if that is actually true. Sometimes we don't even make offers to people if we don't feel like it's genuinely the right fit. And so it changes everything about the energy of the conversation. Instead of trying to close somebody, we're having an authentic conversation about whether working together really makes sense. And if it does, well, we're going to get into talking about which of our programs is the best fit for them right now. So we talk about the challenges that they have, how our program is going to help them achieve those goals, and any questions that they have about the specifics of the program, because we've already given them information about that. The focus is on them, not really on us making a sale. We really generally put their needs above ours. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what really allows us to really be detached in sales calls. And therefore, at the end of the day, we end up making more sales because of it. So there's no need for high pressure tactics or manipulative closes. It's simply a matter of determining if we're the right fit for each other. That is literally it. And this is how we consistently are able to generate a 60% conversion rate on our high ticket sales calls. Mind you, there are months when we have a 100% sales call because the calls that we are bringing in that specific month are even better and it's even more pre-sold. So we're not doing this through persuasion techniques, but through a process built on genuine value, on trust, and an alignment. So when you implement that 3-step process, the demand priming framework and how we're sharing content, the brand message assessment or the 15-minute expert audit, and that aligned enrollment conversation, you create a sales process that feels both good for you and for your potential clients. It just feels easier, right? You're not trying to convince anybody to buy from you. You're not trying to push them into making a decision. You're simply helping them make the right decision, even if their decision is not to work with you. And honestly, this is really what changes everything about high ticket sales, like truly approaching it from a place of absolute abundance. It's not about getting better at closing techniques or learning how to overcome objections in a better way, because when we do this through this process, those objections are overcome throughout the entire customer journey. But instead, it's about creating a process that naturally attracts and converts the right people. If you want to experience that process firsthand, let's hop on a free 15-minute brand message assessment where I'm going to give you personalized feedback on exactly what you need to do and shift within your own message in order to make sure that you're speaking to those power buyers and building that demand through your content and what you're creating. You want to go to brandmessagesession.com right now to book your call. You can find the link in the bottom of this episode as well. And make sure that you subscribe and follow me on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, at Fabi Paolini, everywhere, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the different places. And let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to high ticket sales? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in another episode. Bye.